Hello, soulmate. Welcome back to Lily Bloom Culture. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, thank you very much and welcome to our channel. In today's tutorial video, we're going to be teaching you guys how to cut and sew this underbust corset dress with ruche on the shoulder and on the other bust and gather at the lower part of the dress. If this is what you're interested in, please keep on watching while we get started. But before we get started, please leave a lovely comment and subscribe to our channel so that you get notified whenever we drop any tutorial video. Today we're going to be doing the part 1 of the sewing of this dress. We're going to be doing the part 1. I'm going to rule out all my vertical lines, my shoulder line, from my shoulder to my chest line, that is 8.8 inches, and then from my chest line to my underbust line is 9.5 inches, and then from my shoulder to my bust line is 9.5. Then from my shoulder to my underbust is 13 inches, and then from my underbust to my waistline is 16 inches. So I'm gonna to label all the lines. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is that we're going to be taking our shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll also take the shoulder measurement on my chest line in order for us to get a perfect armhole line. So to get your armhole, you divide your round bust circumference by 6, and whatever you get, you add 1.5 to it. That will be your armhole depth. So I'm going to use a straight ruler to connect from the shoulder point to the chest line with a straight line. Then the next thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking our neck width. I'm going to be using 3.5 for my neck width. You can use 2 inches for your neck width. You can use 3 inches or 4, whatever suits you. Fine. So for my neck depth, I came down by about 8 or 7 inches. I came down by 7 inches. You can also come by that depth. You saw this tie that we were sewing, so the neck didn't need to be deep. You can make yours deeper. You can draw yours to meet your chest line or your bust line. So on the shoulder line, I came down by 0.75 inch for our shoulder slope. So I used my ruler to connect from that point to meet the neck width. Now I'm going to be taking my round bust circumference divided by 4, and what I have, I mark it down. And then I'm going to be dividing my armhole line by 2, and then I'm going to go in by 0.5. So I'm going to be using my curve rule to connect all the 3 points to form our armhole curve. So just look at what I'm doing so that you understand. It's not that hard. So now I've already drawn a corner to draw out our armhole curve. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is that we're going to be taking our nipple to nipple measurements. So my nipple to nipple is 4 divided by 2. My nipple to nipple is 8, sorry, divided by 2 is 4. So I mark my nipple to nipple measurement on my bust point and also on my waistline. So I use my straight ruler to connect the 2 points together to form a straight line. These straight vertical lines. So now I take half an inch on both sides to get our dart. So now I'm using my ruler now to draw out our dart line. So now we're going to be taking our body circumference. So I've already took my bust circumference divided by 4. Then I just went ahead to add 2.5 inches for that. And now I'm taking my waist circumference divided by 2, and then I'm going to be placing the 1 inch that I gave it earlier, and then I'm going to be adding 2.5 for my seam allowance. You can use 1.5 for your seam allowance for whatever works for you. Now I'm using my curve ruler now to connect the points together like so. So now after doing that, the next thing we're going to do now is to draw out our cup. So let's do this. On the underbust line towards the side of the dress centers, towards the side, I went up by 1 inch. Now I'm going to be using my curve ruler to connect from that 1 inch point to meet my dart leg, as you can see. So now I'm trying to make my neck deeper, so I came down by 7.5. Now I'm going to be redrawing my front neckline again, as you can see me doing like so. So I decided to make it lower a little bit. So this is me trying to connect it. So now I've drawn my straight line. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be using my curve rule to create a cup from my neckline all the way down to my dart leg or my underbust, as you can see me doing like this. Please look at what I'm doing so that you understand what we're doing here to make it easier for you. So this is me trying to draw out my cup, as you can see, and here it is. So now this is our cup. So now the lower part will serve as our band, center front, side fronts. So on the shoulder line, I'm going to be going up by 0.5, and then I'm going to be connecting it with my ruler, as you can see. So this 0.5 inch that I'm adding to it is going to serve as our stitching allowance when we are sewing our fabric together. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now is that I'm going to be cutting this out. So I'm going to rule out, I'm going to draw my back pieces, I rule out my vertical lines, and I'm also going to draw out my shoulder line. So this is me labeling the shoulder, the chest line, the bust line, and the waistline. So there is no under bust line because there's no bust at our back. So this is me labeling. I've ruled out my zipper allowance and everything. So now the next thing we're going to be doing now is that we're going to be taking our darts. So I've already went ahead to measure my nipple to nipple point. So this is me just drawing out my dart leg. So now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be taking our body shape or our body form. So I'll measure my around waist circumference divided by 4. I'll indicate it, and then I'll remove 1 inch from my dart and also add 2.5 inch for my seam allowance, and I also add 2.5 inch for seam allowance on the bust area. Now I'm going to be using my curve ruler now to draw out the body form, as you can see. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is that we're going to be measuring our neck. So for the neck, I came down by 2 inches on my neck depth. So this is me trying to draw to create the curve. I first draw it out as a box, and then later I'll draw it out as a circle. This is me just trying to be creative with my hands. You can as well use your curve ruler to draw out your neckline and save yourself all the stress that I'm putting myself into. So that is that for the neck, and I decided to clean out the square that I drew before. So now the next thing we're going to be doing is that we're going to be drawing a heart shape on the back of our dress. Yes, there's a heart shape on the back. So from the neck, I came down by 2 inches, I did a lot of adjustments while trying to draw this heart shape at the back of this dress. I did a lot of adjustments, so just look at what I'm doing and then do the same. So I'll stop talking now and I'll just allow you to watch and see what I did. So our heart shape finally, after the different trial, so this is how it looked like. You can see. So by the time you cut out 2 pieces of it, you see the real shape of the heart. So I also added 0.5 inch on our shoulder for shoulder joining, and then at the zipper area on the waistline I removed 0.5 inches in order to prevent zipper bulging. And then this is me cutting out what we have already drafted. So just look at the areas I'm cutting out and also do the same. If you watched the tutorial to this point, guys, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel so that you'll be the first to be notified when I drop the sewing part of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and now I'm trying to close my darts because there will be no darts on the band when I'm sewing, so to prevent holding that on my band. So this is me closing my dart, and I've closed the dart. Now it's time to work on our cup. So just look at what I'm doing now. So I'm going to be cutting through the cup like this. Now I cut it to the end and I'm going to label it. So I'm going to get a bigger pattern paper to spread out the cup, because why we cut this cup to the end at the nipple point is because, or at the middle, is because there is a ruche. If you look at the dress very well, there is a ruche on the shoulder, so we'll be able to make that ruche on the shoulder and also make gathers at the underbust, as you can see. So I use the wideness of 5 inches at the upper part. So depends on how busty you are. Even that 5 inches I used, I felt that was too much because I'm not that busty. So depends on how busty you are. So you can use 5, you can use 6, you can use 7, you can even use 4 or 3. Depends on you. So now this is me trying to rule them out on the new pattern paper and also trying to trace out everything. And now I'm cutting it out. As you can see me doing like so. So here is our new cup, and now I'm going to be cutting the lower part of our dress. So my full length for this dress is 40 inches. So when I minus 16, because my upper part is 16 inches from 40 inches, I had 20 something. So it's that 20 inches I'm going to be cutting out with my Ankara fabric to make the gathers on the lower part of the dress. So this is me cutting it out. I folded my fabric into 4, so that's why it's looking this small on the table like this. So this is the 2 pieces. Now I'm cutting out my paper that I already drafted, as you can see. And now here is the back piece. I'm also cutting out my back piece like so. I added half an inch all the way when I was cutting my heart shape. I can also do the same. And then I also add half an inch on the neck. I didn't have add any inches on the side because I already added my seam allowance. So now this is me cutting out my cup area, as you can see. So I added half an inch at the base of the cup to join it to the underbust on the band. So here we are done. These are all my pieces, as you can see. the cup, the back piece, and the band. So this will be our final look when we're done sewing this beautiful dress. I can't wait for you guys to see the sewing tutorial. So for now, we just only did the pattern drafting and the cutting. In my next tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to join all the pieces that we cut out together to create this beautiful masterpiece. Please subscribe to my channel so you get notified when I post. Bye.